Perfect.
What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. And man, it was at less than 24 hours. We are away from kickoff between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Football is back. Man, two excellent games to start the season. Man, the Ravens by a toe, man. I put my money on the Ravens and that they'd score over 46 points. I got my 47 points and one toe kept me out my money. I was hot about that. But, man, it was a great, great game. If they got script writers, they wrote a thriller Thursday night. And then last night, it ended in a little bit of a damper, especially for the Packers, because now Jordan Love is out for a couple of weeks. But, man, the Eagles look strong once again. Hey, they say, it's something about leaving the Giants that turned dudes into beasts, because they put a picture up of Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley, and they was like, it was the Giants, it wasn't them. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. We're going to talk some Jags and Dolphins. We're going to talk about the owner, Shad Khan, basically expressing what we've all been saying for probably a long time now, that at some point, dog, you got to win. It is what it is. I don't care. You got to win. And now they have no excuse. You have to win. Ed Reed said that Patrick Mahomes has weaknesses, and they are easy to figure out. We're going to break that down. And Rick Ballou put his foot in his mouth. I cannot believe that this is what Jacksonville has for sports talk radio. Man, let me get in there, man. Come on. Yeah, because I would, dude, my take's much better than that. That is absolutely ridiculous. But don't worry, we're gonna play it for you. We're gonna break it down. And I got my co-host with me, John Reed. Once again, how you feeling today, sir?
Man, I'm just listening to your summary, boy. It's definitely football season, ain't it?
Man, it's football season.
Man, that sounds like going to Golden Corral and going to the buffet and choosing different stuff, boy. It's here. We've been anticipating since the end of last season. All the talk and drafts and free agent signings and OTAs and all that, training camp, boy. But it's here.
It It's here. Ain't no doubt about it, man. It is here. Yeah, I just it seemed like it came back so fast. Still, I mean, like the Super Bowl felt like it was just played not so long ago, and now we're back here already. But I know that that period from when the first preseason games start, and you have those first couple of drives, and then they take Trevor out to the start of the season. Now that was long. That was long. After about 3 drives against the Chiefs to getting to this point tomorrow, that was long. That seemed just as long as Super Bowl to now, because that was long. I'm like, hey, after I saw Trevor and them play just a handful of plays, I was like, all right, put everybody in bubble wrap and let's start the season.
But you know what, Brandon, what you said? I mean, I think the first point is the owner comes out publicly. Well, I don't know if it was public. It was in that team meeting, but it definitely got dispersed publicly by the franchise. So that means they wanted everybody to know. But when the owner spend money, which he did, and then you go in that window and then you know what happened last year. They lost 5 of the last 6, and 8-3 turned into 9-8. Ain't no secret about expectations. Ain't no secret about this team got a roster that can win. And when that owner comes out and say this ain't no misquote. Our time is now. And that pressure, if you want to call it pressure, is on this coaching staff and on these players. That whatever happens in 24 hours from now, we don't want to hear a bag full of excuses.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's football. That's football. That's winning caliber football with a winning culture, with a winning philosophy. And it's put up or shut up time. And I mean, these guys got to, take care of business this season. Not just the just the intermediacy of let's go out here and get this done. Starting tomorrow.
Oh yeah. And I think that this does put, I think the most pressure that statements like that coming from Shad Khan, and I applaud him for saying so. I think it falls on the coaching staff. I think that the most pressure falls on this coaching staff to get it right. The players, they are already under immense pressure. They've been under pressure for a very, very long time, especially if you're talking about, the top players on the team. The pressure for them, I don't think changes. Like, for example, Trevor Lawrence, the pressure to him, it doesn't change because he's been under this pressure and scrutiny for a very, very long time. It's been here. All that does is, I don't think it add much to it. How he plays before those comments and after, I don't think there's going to be much of a difference because it looks like he puts immense pressure on himself already to live up to and to be, great.
Yeah.
The same with somebody like a Louis Khan, Josh Hines Allen, all of these guys. I don't think it's any more pressure on them to perform because they're already under that pressure to perform because they want their money. But these coaches, it's and to even the front office, Balky's tied to this. I think that's more of a shot at Doug Peterson, the head coach, and Trent Baalke. Basically telling those two, look here, I gave you all the recipe, all everything you needed on your recipe list to make this gumbo. It better taste good.
And something else. No, it's not pressure on the players, but it's culture. It's when you the quarterback, when you're the starting defensive end, and let's just be frank. When you Trevor, when you Josh, when you we can go down the list here, but everybody is held accountable, and those leaders gonna hold these guys accountable. And when you have rookies out there on the field, there's a certain level of expectation, there's a certain level of performance, and you can't draw back and just say it's my bag anymore, or we just expect you to make those mistakes because you're a first and second year player. So it's a cultural thing that winning trickles down from top to bottom, and these guys got to take more of a leadership role. You know, the Joshes, the Trevors, and they got to hold those guys up. You know, players hold players are more accountable than coaches.
What up, Dale? Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah,
this is it. We're not worried about, I mean, we got all these, Press Taylor or Doug calling plays. I mean, if those plays ain't called that lead to a victory tomorrow, somebody got to answer it in front of that microphone. And if we can't get a significant pass rush on Tua, then somebody's got to answer for the bail. If we can't throw downfield to Brian Thomas or we don't protect Trevor, somebody's got to answer. Ain't no more excuses. So that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that is what it comes down to. Yeah, what's going on, Dale? Hey, happy belated birthday, Dale. Hey, I've been meaning to hit you up. You know, hey, life has been lifing. You know, it's just what it is. But I gotta definitely hit you up. A happy belated birthday, Dale. Yeah. Somebody has to answer. And hey, did you see Doug Peterson having a little fun at the end of one of his last press conferences when they asked him about the Chad Muma or Devin Lloyd, which I mean, Devin Lloyd is going to have every opportunity to be that guy. He's going to be given the opportunity to do so. But so is Chad Muma. Chad Muma is going to be given that opportunity as well. But when they asked him about Chad Muma or Devin Lloyd, he was like, well, it's situational. So either, whatever the situation called for is one or the other, just like it's Doug Peterson or Press Taylor. He smiled slyly and walked off. And I'm like, look at him trying to have some fun, because I think they learned from their mistake last year of announcing that he was the play caller, 3 hours before kickoff against the Colts. I mean, we both scrutinized that. Like, why? What is the purpose? Why would you do this? You brought undue attention to Press Taylor. Just give him the play sheet. And somebody asks a question, say, he's the offensive coordinator, isn't he? And keep it moving. I mean, but to think that Doug Peterson does not have his fingerprints and the final thought on what comes out of the sideline to go straight to Trevor, you got to be kidding me. This is not just all on Press Taylor. This is Doug Peterson's offense. Same like in Kansas City, for example. No matter who was calling plays, whether it was Reed or Bieniemy, you knew that Reed had his fingerprints all over what was being called. So come on, like let's move forward. This is not a Press Taylor witch hunt. If they don't play well and the play calling is what it is, because I mean, people forget. Do you forget last year how bad the offensive line was and pretty much turned us into a lateral team, basically side to side. That's what it was. Side to side. Vertical, never heard of vertical because you don't have time to go vertical. Now apparently if they're able to give Trevor time, just give him some time. Not giving them an eternity, just enough time. I don't see anybody being able to really stop it like that. I don't. Especially if they get time.
I done said this before, I say it tonight. That's my biggest concern is that offensive line, man. We're one injury away. I don't like to be a doomsayer on the eve of what I think is going to be a great football season.
But you got to call it out.
But we don't have enough depth. I mean, I'm gonna just say it. We get one Mitch Morse injury or Brandon Sheriff injury. I mean, I know we got Walker Little. I guess he's now that what? I mean, I guess he could play either left tackle or right tackle. I don't know if he can play interior, but I'm just not. I mean, that's my biggest area of concern. It's been my biggest area of concern for at least the last 3 or 4 years. I just don't think they've done enough. And hopefully, that these guys can play at the level they need to play at. I mean, we just need them to hold their blocks and don't get our quarterback sacked. Man, I'm kind of different to say R and we, but I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not ashamed to say that I want these guys to have a good season and win. So it's all I always say go Jags on Twitter. So it is what it is. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Let's see. Dale say defensively, I would press these wide receivers, throwing the timing off, but you better get your hands on them. You better be hitting Tua for it to work, or Campbell on Waddle, double hill with second corner and the safety. Yeah, I mean, I think that the way you negate speed is with physicality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fast, but man, let me punch you in the mouth a few times. It'll slow you down. And I like the matchup with the defensive line versus Miami's offensive line. I like the
Yeah.
matchup. I think that they should dominate that. And I mean dominate. I think they should dominate that line. That's the kind of faith that I have in this line and how good I think they can be. Dude, with Eric Armstead inside, a healthy Devon Hamilton, and now with Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker's hand in the ground, I think this defense morphs into a totally different beast. And now they got it to where it's almost like a multiple defense. It's very fluid. You go from you got some 4-3 looks, you got some 4-2-5 looks. Me personally, I do like the 4-2-5. But now, with that being said, at times you're going to see Darnell Savage in that slot in the 4-2-5 with Antonio Johnson at safety. Hey, I like that look too. And other times you're gonna have Muma and Lloyd on the field along with Aluakon. So I think they are prepared for just about anything that can come their way. Only thing is though is that this is not the best team to try to get the defense down, and this to be the first game and them getting comfortable and settling into the system, because with the new defense you're going to have issues with communication from time to time because everything is new. And with a lapse in communication, it is 6 points against the Miami Dolphins. I mean, it's just what it is, man. So they're going to have to, they really are going to have to, make sure they're on point and no coverage bust, because coverage bust means touchdown against Miami Dolphins. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a touchdown.
Well, let me say this, man. You got a defensive coordinator who essentially likes, one-on-one matchups, isolation, and not playing a whole lot of zone. And I think their base is a 4-2-5. You might see that probably about, may not even 2 series where you see them in their base with this Dolphin team. But I like Ryan Nelson. I mean, I think that's the type of guy mentality that this franchise has lacked for a long time, And no coaching. I know what the public thing is when he said that we don't have a depth chart and really doesn't matter. I think on their final depth chart going into this week, they had Muma and Lloyd as either or. But what it tells me is you perform, you play. If you don't perform, we're gonna switch some things around. And I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I think Devin Lloyd got to play much better in this game tomorrow than what he did in the preseason. Preseason is preseason, but it's also where you at, where what your reads are, where are you following your keys, are you in coverage, are you in position to make a play, or when you're in position to make a play, are you making the play? And there were some games he was in position, he didn't make tackle. And when you see Chad Muma out there, he was in position, he made the tackle, he went side to side, and he looked like he was totally much better than what he was last season, as he looked like he made a jump.
Yeah.
And this defensive coordinator, he's not gonna He's not buying on what your contract language is or what what you look like on paper and what
No
your
loyalty.
ratio and analytics and all that. I don't think that's gonna play at all this year.
Yeah.
And what I guess what I'm trying to get to, man, you got these cornerbacks and man to man, Darby, Tyson Campbell, and I mean they're on the island. And I would think the best way to cover them, you got to have Cisco over the top, but you got to get pressure on to him, man. Tyson Campbell can run a 4.340. At least back in the day, that's when he first got with the Jag. That's what he timed in, and that was his times and all that. I don't know what it is. 3-4 years later, but that's what you need. I mean, when it comes to how do the Jaguars slow down the Dolphins, they got to get pressure on the quarterback. I mean, it's that simple. I don't from the interior, from the edge. If you got to blitz the linebackers, blitz them. But the key to this game is how much pressure they can get on to it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. How much pressure they're going to get on to it. That is it. That's the long and the short of it right there.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the depth chart. So we can look and see. So this is the final depth chart going into the season. And of course, obvious. Of course, Lawrence at quarterback. You got to Christian Kirk in the slot. Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis on the outside. Parker Washington and Devin Duvernay are backing up Kirk. Tim Jones backs up Brian Thomas. Luke Farrell and Evan Ingram are going to be your two tight ends, with Brenton Strange backing up Farrell. And then Anton Harrison, Brandon Scherf, Mitch Morse, Ezra Cleveland, and Cam Robinson. Scherf and Cleveland are the question marks. I think Cleveland less than Scherf because he was like in I think the top 5 as far as pass block efficiency last year, according to Pro Football Focus. But him being injured, and he get whipped sometimes, man, just absolute whip. And then in the run game, now they have ran the ball well this preseason, so this is make or break for a guy like a Walker Little. This make or break year for a guy like a Devin Lloyd. I think they're probably most likely going to get an opportunity, especially at Walker Little. I think no matter who's up next in the interior, outside of center, Walker Little is going to be the guy, and and he's the swing tackle. Cole Van Lannon, Cooper Hodges, Luke Fortner, of course, Javon Foster.
Yeah. Well, so keep your eye on Cooper Hodges.
I'm definitely keeping my eye on Cooper Hodges. I've been hearing good things about him. And I heard Cole Van Lannon hasn't played bad either.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, Travis Etienne, of course. Tank Bigsby backing him up, and Dearness Johnson. I think they have 3 backs because Dearness Johnson can play.
Yeah, he's a vet. He can go after it, and they got to utilize him. I mean, they'll be. I think that's the biggest question. How much do you go run pass? I mean, I know you go pass if you're behind, but do you want a 10-play drive and utilize the run game? Try to keep their offense off the field as much as you can. And that's when you come to clock management and play calling. I'm interested. Those some of the keys I would say is, how do they utilize their offense tomorrow? Do you try to run? If it's 3rd and 2, are we going to see them give the ball to ETN or, hand it off? Or do we just see them drop back and give it to the tight end?
Yeah.
I mean, those are the questions,
Yeah.
I really think they got to do a great, the intangibles in a game like this. You gotta manage the clock, and you gotta play situational football. And situational football ain't always in the red zone, you know.
Yeah.
Because ain't no lie, man. These guys are. I mean, we want the Jags to win tomorrow, but let's not kid ourselves. Dolphins is an explosive team, and they play very well for the month of September. They kind of pan out like they did last year later in the season. But they Waddle. I mean, they got firepower. They got a good running backs. I mean, I think the biggest question is just their defensive line with the injuries, and I'm not sold on how good their offensive line is either. But
yeah, they got line question marks on both sides.
Yeah, and they never have been. I thought many times when they go up against Buffalo, and in years past they go up against New England when New England was New England. They've always had this thing that they never had a reputation of being a very physical football team on both sides of the ball.
Not on both sides, no.
And that's when the Jags, I really feel one reason why I'm excited about the Jags this year, because I think when it comes to a physical standpoint, particularly on the defensive line, this might have been the most physical training camp that they've had in years. And their physical play transcended, the preseason. Yes. And I know people talk about preseason, but man, when you can dominate and transcend that to any game, it's a tell sign what's going to happen in the regular season. And if they could be out physical Miami and hit them in the mouth, smash mouth football, I think we're on our way. I do. And I think that defensive coordinator, I think that's everything, his personality, his coaching philosophy, everything involves around physical football. And I think if you can't play physical football, he'll take you off the field.
Yeah. Let me get some of these. Dale say, I have a feeling Lloyd hasn't cut loose yet for some reason. He's thinking, Dale. Chad Muma is just reacting because he has the natural linebacker instincts. So Chad Muma's like, this is wheelhouse. He doesn't have to think about it. His body just moves. Devin Lloyd is still learning because remember, Devin Lloyd wasn't a linebacker in college. I mean, not that wasn't his his primary where he played down in and down out and didn't do anything else. That's what Muma was. They put Devin Lloyd played defensive end against USC and wrecked the game. So I mean, he's a special athlete who's been used all over, and now he has to settle in at linebacker. And you could see that Chad Muma has had more time to do so because he's playing faster. But that doesn't mean Devin Lloyd, can't figure it out at some point. Let's see. He say Van Lanen is really good. Yeah, I've heard great things about Van Lanen. He say last year they only beat one good team. The Cowboys. Might be something to that. Oh, the Dolphins. Yeah.
The Dolphins only beat one good team.
6 sacks tomorrow. Oh man, they get 6 sacks tomorrow. They're winning, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Because now you just said this, Mr. Reed. I don't go back to what you said about physicality on both sides of the ball. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Defensively, I think we know exactly what they're going to be as far as physicality. But now on offense, when you look now, I think they're going to be very physical because you're not going to be able to bully Brian Thomas Jr. and Gabe Davis like they were able to bully the receivers last year. I don't think you're not going to be able to bully those two because they're big and they're physical. Now we know what Anton Harrison is the best lineman on the entire team. He's the best lineman, no question about it. And Cam Robinson is right behind him. Both of them very physical. So you're going to be very physical on the exterior of the line. Interior, we're going to see. I don't know how physical Mitch Morse is, but I think he's good enough. We'll see about Ezra Cleveland and Brandon Scherf. And then Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, and Dearness Johnson. These are physical players.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have a physical offense to go along with a physical defense.
Out of the
Especially,
offensive line, my biggest
oh,
concern is Brandon. I don't know. He's coming off
he's the
the,
biggest concern. Yeah.
yeah, injuries. He's a guy, prideful guy. He's never gonna say when he's hurt. When he's hurt, even though if it limits his ability, didn't have a great spurt. He didn't have a great anything. So that's my worry. Then you don't have much behind him. If one of those guys go down in the interior, that's just a concern. I mean, one of the tackles go down. You got Walker Little as a swing tackle, so you're not really having a board or a big drop off. But boy, we lose one of these guards or center. We only want to talk about center.
Man, let's not. Let's not. You know what you got to go back to if you do.
But that's not gonna happen now, Brandon. I think these guys. You know what I feel? I think these guys are gonna come out, challenge the Dolphins, physically challenge them up front, and I think they're gonna take some shots early on. I think they're gonna drive the ball downfield. I think they feel at this point on a Saturday afternoon, we got to score on these guys. We can't hesitate. We can't be passive. If we got opportunity to throw it downfield we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely gonna do it. And so now
don't forget about Christian Kirk.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Christian Kirk. I think he's number 2 as far as he should be number 2. I think he's code number 1 right now, but he should be the second option because when Trevor drops back, wherever Evan Ingram is lined up, unless he has Jalen Ramsey on him, and you want to be cautious because it's Jalen Ramsey. Okay, cool. Unless he has Jalen Ramsey on him, I don't care who else it is. I don't care if it's Javon Holland, and I like Javon Holland. I think Javon Holland is very good. The ball needs to probably go that way. Oh, you look to go that way because he's going to win his matchups. I mean, we're talking about because Evan Ingram, he isn't talked about enough as being one of the top pass catchers in the NFL, and he is. I think he is. Now he's just really starting to get the numbers, and he's built himself into this. So it's not like he came in and was automatically good and stuff like that. He was always very big and fast, but questionable hands, especially when he was in New York. But it's now, I mean, he's turned himself into one of the better pass catchers in all of football, and he's a matchup nightmare no matter where you put him. Because if you put a DB on him, he can body the DB. He's bigger than the DB. Linebacker on him, he's going to run by him. That's what he does. So I personally think that he should be number 1. Christian Kirk should come after that, and then everybody else fall in line after that. And I think we're going to see that, especially in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this, man. If we got Jalen Ramsey on Brian Thomas, that's a victory.
Victory. Because Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and Gabe, that they can win against anybody else.
Yep.
Whoever Jalen is covering, everybody else can win against whoever else is covering.
Yeah. So I like that matchup. If the Dolphins feel that we got to take away the deep threat and be more concerned about that, then you utilize Ingram and who knows? I mean, Gabe might have a big game. Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Gabe might have a big day. So I mean, I like it. I like the matchup. Let's hit this defensive side of the ball, and then we'll move forward. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So this defensive line already, man. Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead, Josh Hines Allen, and Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, good solid line.
That's a solid line. And now, and I like Ledbetter. Ledbetter made the team.
Yep.
I really like Ledbetter. Tyler Lacey, and I got the pronunciation guide down here. So let's do it. SAZO2 Maywo. That's his name. I like him too. Then you got the two rookies, Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith, backing them up. And it looks the defensive line depth chart would look a little strange to most because look at edge. At edge, you have Josh Hines, Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Miles Cole. Those are the guys on the edge, and you would think that you would have what the inside defensive line, that depth chart would be where the defensive ends are, because I've always seen where it's like you got 6 or 7, as far as classified defensive ends, either 5 or 6, and then in defensive tackles you got 4 at most, sometimes 3, but they went big. They wanted to be big. And some of these guys can play defensive end. Eric Armstead is basically, he's penciled in at defensive tackle, but you're going to see him a lot at end, just like they did with Calais Campbell.
Yeah, and you can flip them back. I mean, Eric can play inside. Walker can play. I think they're gonna flip flop them, to be honest. And it'll probably, I think those guys, other than Devon Hamilton, I think you might see even Josh play either side or inside some, just change up the look a little.
Yeah.
But I don't have no concern about their defensive front, man. I know Eric didn't play in the preseason, but man, just his presence, the ability to man, they probably try to even double team him. That leaves an open lane for those linebackers to get out and make some tackles, man. So, and I know Hamilton coming off the injury, really didn't have a good year last year. So I really think he's motivated a lot. And I like Ledbetter from last year, man. I think he's big. I think he's physical. I think he does a great job getting off block, making plays, or just even standing in his space to cover his lanes. And I mean, I like the D. I mean, the defense has been, we spoke about this defense all summer. I don't think they're going to have any major breakdowns on the defense. I like the depth. I like the cornerbacks. I think they got the, Ronald Darby and those guys in the secondary, Andre Cisco. I think they got better depth. I think they got better quality play from the starters than what they had a year ago. I mean, I don't think you can, whether you're the Dolphins or whoever else on that schedule, I don't think you can design plays to isolate any one of those guys as that has been in the past, where they can ISO you to make a big play on you. And I don't think they got anybody that's even in a playing role that the Dolphins going to be able to do that. And Tyson's going to be physical. I know. I know that the Dolphins thinking that, man, we got our big play wide receivers and we put up a bunch of points. But, hey, man, I trust in Tyson Campbell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tyson, and they say Darby's played well against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what is Mason Smith. I'm excited to see Mason Smith and Miles Cole. I think the faith that they have in Miles Cole, and who knows that if Miles Cole would have made it, if they would have, or if they would have released one of the inside defensive linemen to keep Deshaun Dixon, who tore his ACL, because this where Miles Cole is behind Trayvon Walker. I think Deshaun Dixon was penciled in behind him and Josh Hines Allen. He tore his ACL. So you're down that lineman. So I guess, they went, bigger with the defensive tackles. Also, where else? Oh, yeah. So we know what you're getting in at linebacker. Got Lua Khan is going to be in the middle, and it's going to be Muma, first. Whether you got two linebackers or three out there, Muma's going to be out there. Now it's going to be, you see the or Devin Lloyd or Yasir Abdullah, and from time to time I want to see Ventrell Miller. Miller is also a linebacker. Just like, he has those instincts just like Chad Muma. It's see ball, get ball is how Ventrell Miller plays. I really like his game.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, man. I hope he gets some snaps. I like Abdullah too, especially on that outside linebacker, at the Sam linebacker. And if they got to rotate, man, I don't care about that. I don't want to see guy have mental lapses and, they the run coming inside and they go outside and that kind of stuff. Because I think you got enough depth on that defense that those mistakes, and you're going to make some mistakes, but if Devin Lloyd is not, and long story short, if Devin Lloyd not getting the job done, then don't hesitate to take him out. Don't allow just because he was this certain pick in the draft or nothing. Because I'll be honest with you, Brandon, he didn't have a great spring. I mean, he didn't have a great training camp. I mean, he didn't have a great preseason. I wasn't at their practices, but the little bit that I saw that he was in those preseason games, he didn't play too well, especially against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I said the same thing. And we got another person because Dale said 6 sacks. Chris say 5+ sacks. Hey, so y'all heard the report on that Miami offensive line, huh? Oh yeah, we're going to see way bigger holes in the Dolphins defense. Yeah, because you got guys who are going to stretch the field. If they can get the ball in the hands of Gabe Davis or Brian Thomas down the field just once or twice, it opens up so much. Because if either one of them can be a consistent deep threat, and that's what you drafted Brian Thomas for, that's what you brought Gabe Davis in. Gabe Davis averages almost 17 yards a catch. He's a big play receiver. And we've seen in the little bit of time we've had Brian Thomas with us, we've seen what he's capable of. And so that's all you want. You want them to just, back the safeties up, because that gives Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk room to work, man. I think if you can get all of that going, and just time and not turning the football over.
Yeah.
Because even I believe this too. Even let's say this. Let's say the offensive line isn't much better than it was last year. Let's just say it was marginally better, damn near the same. If they can cut out turnovers, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just cut out the turnovers.
Cut those turnovers out and give him time in the pocket so he don't have to make no rush decisions, man. I mean, that's all we want. I mean, that's our only concern. I mean, give him enough time. Give the running game some room. I mean, you got to wedge block, whatever it takes to clear some holes for that running game and get established. And give Trevor time so you don't have to make bad decisions or hurried throws or whatever. We in good shape, but Brandon, I don't foresee that, man.
I don't either. I don't either. I think that they're in great shape, and because of what happened last year, I think they're prepared. I truly think that the coaching staff and Trevor are prepared for whatever comes with this offensive line, because they went through such a bad experience last year. The whole offense did. The offensive line held the offense back last year. And I think that they're going to be hard pressed to allow that to happen this year. They're going to find a way.
I ain't going to sugarcoat the truth, man. I feel from top to bottom, this is their strongest roster from top to bottom since 2017, and it may be even stronger than 2017 in my opinion, from an offensive standpoint. I don't know. I don't think it's stronger, not stronger defensively, but offensively, I think it's better, especially at wide. Well, obviously wide receiver, running back, not offensive line, quarterback, obviously, or even running back. Fournette was good, but they got a 3.
Mercedes Lewis is my guy, but we're better at tight end. This is the best we've been at tight end since Mercedes Lewis wore a Jaguars uniform, and he's still in the league. Is it 19, 20 years?
Yeah, I think it's 19. Ain't that something, man?
19 years. Yeah, man. Who would have thought?
And he's a good guy. Man, a lot of people don't know. He's a good guy, man. You know, good guy should always be rewarded, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah. They need to go ahead. Hey, when he hang it up, do that day contract, let him retire as a Jaguar, because I'm a proponent of he should have never been gone. I mean, if he would have been gone at this point, because now you got Evan, I understand. But in the time before Evan and when he left, you had a hole at tight end for a very long time.
Yep. Always professional.
Yes.
Always professional.
Yeah, but it's no surprise to me that he's played this long, because when I met him, I did one of his camps, and I took my brother, because my brother played tight end, and I took him to the camp, and got to meet him, and got to meet man, his name escapes. Julius Thomas. And they were at the camp, and I remember seeing Mercedes Lewis. We were I think we were at I think it's West Side now, not West Side, but whatever Robert E. Lee is now, Lee High School. I forgot what the name.
Riverside. Yeah, Riverside.
Riverside. Okay, yeah, so it's Riverside. So we were there, and he came walking off the field, had people around him. I was like, dude, he's like 6'7", 275 pounds, not an ounce of fat on him. Looked like he was chiseled out of stone. And I was like, man, this is a big dude, man. And then here comes Julius Thomas, pencil arms with a gut. And I was like, oh my God, they just paid this man. Oh man, yeah. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. But yeah, another now we did offense, defense. We cannot discount special teams. I think special teams is going to be very special for Jacksonville this year.
Yep.
Not just because of Cam Little, and not because of our Pro Bowl punter Logan Cook. You got Devin Duvernay, of course. Parker Washington and Tank Bigsby are going to be handling the return duties. I think that they're going to make some big plays in special teams, because, dude, Parker Washington is hard to get on the ground. Tank Bigsby, he is going to take one back, and we haven't even seen Devin Duvernay touch one with the new kickoff rules yet. So I'm looking for them to have a big impact on the season.
Yeah, me too, man. I just want consistency, and if they get kicked to them, I mean, look like all the teams now just kicking it out of bounds and getting it at 30. But if the Dolphins choose to kick to our returner, then I think we got the capability of making plays, man. I really like this team, man. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that, but I really like the depth, special teams, defense, ability to score, give up big plays, the culture. I mean, I think these guys who left out of here this afternoon and said this is a business trip. I don't think they left Jacksonville today talking about the opening game of the season, and we don't know how we're gonna, we don't know what level we're gonna come out with tomorrow in Miami. I think they're confident. I think they know what the expectations are. I think they know the importance of playing even level the whole season. And knowing that this tough portion of their schedule, the first 4 games, and I think they're going down there to take care of business. They know what they have to do, and I think they're gonna get it done.
Yeah. No, when I heard Eric Armstead say that they're being slept on, I said, "Oh, that's all I need to hear right there."
And they are. Ain't nobody talking about the Jaguars outside of Duval.
No,
Those people in Miami, they
Mm-hmm.
don't respect the Jaguars, man. They just think they're the second best team in their conference, and we should roll over them.
Yeah,
And one thing different, I think this team take receipts, and they know it. They know that that they don't have a target on their back. They just think that, oh man, Jaguars they're gonna be the Jags.
yeah,
We
yeah,
ain't gonna see them after January. They just gonna be the Jags. And
yeah,
I think these guys know it, and they can use that as ammunition and motivation.
yeah. They are.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay. Chris say, I did a good job over the years forgetting about Thomas. I actually forgot about him. I apologize for bringing that memory back. It is very sore. I mean, Julius Thomas, man. Julius, to talk about my disappointment in a Julius Thomas, and that is Claire making her debut. Well, not her debut, because I'm sure I know you've been able to hear her on other podcasts, but she ended up having the time of her life in the kitchen. You say, but Julius Thomas, man, this is such a sore spot for me because he was one of the few free agents that we signed that I was like super excited about. Because I'm like, dude, this dude right here is a game changer. He's a playmaker. He was built in the mold of the newer age tight end where, hey, he could take a screen and take it 80 yards. He was big. He was physical. Dude, DBs, hey, you got no shot. You too small, son. And linebackers, you're too slow. And I just thought he was gonna come here and light it on fire. And when I saw him at that camp, because this was after he signed, this was before the season started, after he signed with the Jaguars, I saw him at the camp, and my expectations died right there. Died. When I saw what physical shape he was in, I was like, oh my goodness. Because the comparison, it might not have been as bad had he been the only tight end there, but he wasn't. Mercedes Lewis was there. And if you've ever seen Mercedes in person, you like, oh my goodness, I've never seen a dude that big, that muscular.
Yeah.
But Julius Thomas, by comparison, man, it's like that meme where you got the 3 dragon heads, you got the 2 dragon heads that look real menacing, and the one that look real goofy. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Yeah. So. Hey, Dale say that little girl gonna be on the podcast whether daddy like it or not. Hey, that's just what it is. Hey, that's just what it is.
She's gonna be on there whether we
yeah, whether we like it or not. But yeah, man, it's it's that Julius Thomas, man. Yeah. Man, just thinking about it, man. But it is what it is. But man, we gonna let's see. We went through the depth chart. So keys to the game. What do you think that they should do? What's most important? Both sides of the ball. What should be their mindset? What should be what they accomplish? The game plan going in. What do you think they should do?
Well, number one is you got to control the tempo, man. You gotta take your shot. You gotta be not conservative. I always get afraid about conservatism. Sometimes with Doug start at the early portion of the game, but they got to go down, take their shots. Offensive line always gonna be. Got to be the key. And probably number one key. You got to protect, and you gotta go out and play these guys. From the history of Miami, if you play them physical, usually they don't respond back. And you gotta hit them in the mouth. You got to play them physical on both sides of the ball. And I'm talking about cornerbacks also, man. You got to check them at the line of scrimmage. All the speed in the world can be stopped by physical play at the line of scrimmage. You get that bump in and play straight up, which they're gonna do in that man coverage. But play them on the top. I don't want to see coverages with Tyson 15 yards back. I want to see him play straight up man to man. And if he got to get over the top help from Cisco, then let's so be it.
Yeah.
And take it. You got to take it to the. You can't. You gotta be assertive when you play at their stadium. You got to be assertive. And the number one key of all, you got to get pressure onto him, man. You can't give him no comfort zones. You can't give him no passing lanes, no running lanes. He's the head of the snake, essentially. And you got to disrupt him to disrupt their offense. And don't give up any big plays in that run game. Mozart, I think that's his name. He's a big play. He got big play capability.
Yeah.
And take some shots. I don't care if who's on Brian Thomas.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. Throw the ball up. Brian down there somewhere.
He's bigger than Jalen. He's faster than Jalen. The only edge basically he got is, he all pro and he got all the credentials, he's experienced, but put the ball in that kid's hands, man. That kid done played a lot of big time football, man. Just because it's the opening week of the NFL season, don't matter. He's ready for the challenge. We don't have to wait for him to make progress or whatever. Put the ball in his hands. Let him do what he do best. And just you got to attack. I've seen too many season openers where we just didn't attack enough. We was either too much thinking or too conservative or just letting that other team go out and punch us first. Man, we got to take the first punch. We're on the road. That says it all. On the road, got to take that crowd out of the game. And you gotta take advantage of what you got. This is a veteran team, good defensive front, aggressive, good quarterback, good receivers, good running game, good running backs. Take advantage of it. Even if you got weakness on the offensive line, still run the ball when you gotta run. So that might have been 12 points, but that's what they gotta do.
Hey, I second all of that. That is exactly what they have to do. Yeah, like they'll say, control the line of scrimmage on both sides. Period. Yeah. Offensively, hey, protect Trevor, push the ball down the field, and run the football. Do not abandon the run, please. Run the football.
It's a matter of winning and losing. You got to keep their offense off the field. I know we got a good defense, but hey, our chances increases when they standing on the sideline.
Yes. And defensively is, hey, I'm gonna go with Ryan Nielsen. Nothing cheap, nothing deep. If you can do that, you can stop them from going deep and not letting the cheap stuff hurt you. I think you can win the game. No question about it. Now, I don't think you can bottle them up all game because they're going to get their wins because they're professionals too, and they have a hell of a team. So you got to go blow for blow from time to time. You do that, but nothing cheap, nothing deep. I think you control the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So man, those are my keys. And now here we go. Prediction time. So what is it going to be Sunday? I have the Jags, and I'm going to go Jaguars 33, Dolphins 21.
Hey man, that's a good one. I already threw mine up on Twitter. So I'm going with a shootout. 38-31 Jags.
Oh yeah, that's a shootout. I like that too. I like that too. This has potential to be that.
And they
I
won't
think the
score their,
defense will get a few wins.
yeah, they won't score their 31st point till we putting in our third stringer. So I think
Yeah,
we'll give them a last second touchdown with the backups in the game, but we in control hopefully. So I like this Jaguar team, man.
yeah, yeah. I do too. See, 34-28 Jags. Okay, Dale. We'll show Jags all day, man. Jags all day. Man, we're gonna leave it right there. And then we'll come back to it at the end. And we'll have our
Yeah,
final thoughts on the Jags. But for now, let's move on to Ed Reed. So Ed Reed did an interview. I think this is Sarah. Is it Sarah Ellison? Is this her? I think this is her. I don't know if this yeah, I think this is her page. And so Ed Reed said that Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has weaknesses and they are easy to figure out. And we're going to hear what he had to say and we're going to break it down. Here we go.
I don't hear people say weaknesses. You said go after his weaknesses. What are they?
His weaknesses is his targets that he like to go to. From my perspective, it's not hard to figure that out. You like to throw the ball to certain people, so that's one of them for me. I would exploit that. I must stay around that guy. I'm that guy. He's that guy. If you want to throw to him, you got to throw to me. You got to throw around me too. So, and that's situational. You got to understand the situations when you playing these games, schematically and all that too, to put yourself in position when he's looking for that guy. So
I don't hear people say weaknesses. You said go after his.
So from that right there, I mean, I understand that completely by Ed Reed. I get it because he has to go to that guy. He has his guys. He has guys he's going to go to. Why they won 2 Super Bowls though is that he's not honed in so much on his favorite targets. Of course, the ball is going to come Travis Kelce's way, but I've even seen where at times he goes away from Kelce and he goes to his other guys. Now he got Xavier Worthy to go to. He has Rashee Rice to go to. They picked up was that Peyton Hendershot from the Cowboys. So you add another tight end to the mix. So you have some guys, man. You have some guys. But he's right. I mean, whoever the guy is, whoever the flavor is, he feeds that guy. Like he fed Rashee Rice a good bit against the Ravens. So, but this is Ed Reed. And people were criticizing talking about, he said they talking about his CTE acting up and all of this, but this is Ed Reed, people. One fan say, hey, we're talking about the same Ed Reed where Tom Brady had fined 20 on every play written on his wristband when he played against the Ravens because he wanted to know where Ed Reed was. Problem is, though, there's only one Ed Reed.
Yeah.
So everybody is not Ed Reed. Everybody's not going to be able to, play that matchup and win that matchup. Ed Reed versus Travis Kelce, I'm going to take Ed Reed for that matchup. That's just what it is. No disrespect to Travis Kelce, first ballot Hall of Famer, but I'm taking Ed Reed for most of that matchup.
Yeah. I agree, man. And I agree with what Ed Reed said, but it's just so hard, He ad-libs so much. Patrick Mahomes, you got him trapped in a box and he can still put his hand on the knob of the door and get out of the trap. So, yeah, man, he has some intangibles that's just not. You won't see that in a lot of other quarterbacks. He just find a way, and
yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Oh no, I couldn't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
If you're gonna double the tight end Kelce, I mean, a lot of times teams press and they get out of things. They take chances. They gamble. They come up when he's on on a scramble, and they get beat because they think he's gonna just take it and run. But I mean, they're just a hard. I mean, Kansas City, to me, like the other night against Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore probably should have won the game, to be honest. But
Yeah.
whether it's a toe short from the end zone, or just can't come up with enough to stop Patrick Mahomes, or somebody make a play. I mean, I watched that Worthy touchdown, man. It just seemed like, boy, it is like the sea parted.
Yeah. That dude fast, man.
Yeah.
That dude is fast. That's a fast dude, man. Yeah.
And I didn't think last year they were particularly a good team. I mean, it just, it was throw a little pass, hitch pass here, throw a little pass, Kelsey there, but it worked. So, and I think the defense get underestimated a little bit. They got a real good defense. And I don't think it gets overshadowed a lot by Patrick and the boys, but they got a good defensive front. And sometimes I say to myself, boy, this team wins despite of Jawan Taylor.
They do. And hey, that's another thing, man. They called it on Ronnie Stanley. I don't know how many times, him lining up in the backfield. But dude, Jawan Taylor false started the whole game, seemed like, man. The whole game. It's crazy. And they have to play Jawan because they paid Jawan. Like that, he's still. And I just want, this is where Baltimore frustrates me. Because Lamar faces all types of scrutiny, and rightfully so, because of the position that he plays. That's what comes with it. He understands that. But even with that said, the coaching staff, man, I sometimes I don't know about Baltimore's coaching staff. Like, last year in the AFC Championship game, your running backs only touched the ball 6 times, and you led the league in rushing last year. That's a travesty right there. But how in the world does Justice Hill get matched up on Chris Jones twice on the final drive? How does that happen? Like that's like it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, man. And yes, Lamar has to be better. He missed, which they say 2 open guys, but the one to Zay Flowers, he wasn't throwing the ball to Zay Flowers. He said he was throwing the ball to Rashad Bateman. He expected Bateman to sit down, but even Antonio Brown said that it was Zay Flowers' fault anyway, because in that moment you need to find a soft spot in the zone and you need to settle down. He said that Zay Flowers should have stopped and settled in the zone. It's on him. And I agree. Everybody's like, oh, how did you miss Zay Flowers? Well, he was throwing to Rashad Bateman, and Zay Flowers should have gave him a stationary target, not running away from where he was throwing the football.
And one more thing about them, man. I think they got a premier guy. This Isaiah Likely, man. I'll put him. I'll play him wide. I'll put him in the slide. I mean, I would keep him on the field. I mean, I don't think they use him enough. I mean,
that's a special kid, man.
Yeah, he needs 10 targets or 12 targets or whatever it takes. He can get open. He's a big guy who can run.
Yes, and dude, when he did that, dude, the step back, oh my goodness, like just stop. Hey, stopped on a dime. Big men like that, you're not supposed to be able to stop like that. That was reminiscent of Reggie Bush against Fresno State. You stop, let the defender go ahead, and you keep going, man.
Man, they actually have this guy in there blocking.
Yes.
I say, look, wait a minute now. He's blocking for Derrick Henry, chipping. I say, man, we got to redefine our offense, man. Good shit. I don't think nobody can cover him. These are matchup headache for everybody.
Yes, yes. And just like Pittsburgh with finding wide receivers,
Yeah,
Baltimore and finding tight ends, man.
yeah.
Yeah, they got the secret sauce on the tight ends. But man, we're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna move to our last topic. We're gonna talk about the pitiful state that Jacksonville radio is in. Let's talk about it. Let's
Man,
talk
you need
about
to
it.
say
We're gonna
that
call it out.
again, man. You need to say that one
Yeah,
more time.
the pitiful state Jacksonville sports radio is in, because this is pitiful, people. These are things that should not be done. And I mean, when you are the flagship franchise, when you're the top dog, when you have no competition, you get very comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you get sloppy because you've been eating high off the hog. And this is the result of said hog.
Tell me it's a better job right now in Mississippi, which I laugh at. Mississippi's a happy home. You can win 7, 8 games, 9 games, maybe double digits, win yourself an egg bowl. They're not smart people in Mississippi. They are the lowest common denominator as far as human beings. If you look at their education, they are always last. It's a very stupid audience. They haven't won a national title since 1960. The rest of the 60s. The hippie movement from Seattle, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jimi Hendrix. The 70s. Have sex with everyone. Have 10 partners. There's no diseases. The 80s. Cocaine. Let's have a part. The 90s. The turn of the millennium into 2010. Mississippi wins nothing. It's not a better job. You can win a title at Florida. Tell me it's
Man, then you caping for Florida? You caping for the University of Dumpster Juice right now? Like, come on, man, get out of here. Get out of here. Yes, Florida is a blue chip job, but don't oversell it, man. And to insult the people of Mississippi, like, why? There was no reason to do that. All of your material should have been aimed towards Ole Miss.
Yeah.
NEA, even throw Mississippi State in there, because no, they haven't won anything. But to throw the people of the city under the bus, I mean, who does he think he's? He think he Chuck? He think he Charles Barkley when he be talking about the fat women in San Antonio? You're not Chuck, man. You're not Chuck. It's not funny. And then Logan Cook for the Jaguars say he'll never go on 10-10 again. He said, you know, those are fine people down there. And he called him a clown. And I agree. Like, why? There's no need for this. There's no reason for you to do this. Jacksonville is already, for whatever reason, has such a big target on his back when it comes to national media, especially when they talk about the town itself. Not even just the Jaguars, but the way national media talks about Jacksonville as a town. Like, come on, man. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. But to throw shots at Mississippi? Come on.
Yeah. Man, I say this. I was almost shocked that a radio host can throw an entire state over the, just get hit by a bus through this guy. And this is my thing with 10-10. I mean, if you got to live up to credibility, and when you don't do credibility, it hurts everything. You know, to me, I don't think that station has enough checks and balances. I think you got too many freelancers that just, okay, I got 3 hours. I can say what I want, do what I want. There's no, I don't know who's supposed to monitor or at least get what the program schedule for the day. But you don't do that, man. You don't bash the whole entire state for a football coach trying to get to the University of Florida. You know, there are some certain people in the state of Mississippi or the state of Louisiana or the state of Florida who got family members there, or the job just took them there. And I wouldn't call them out there. I mean, you go where where you gonna take care of your family at. And I think sometimes, from my biggest problem with the station is that, you don't. You first of all, you don't allow people to express their opinion before they get cut off. That's second. And then you got a guy like him come on there and just bash the whole state for what? You know, you can make your point just talking about Ole Miss hadn't done this, or Ole Miss go 10-1. They may not get no further than, the only thing they may see is a Liberty Bowl or something like that in the past. Now, with the new playoff system, it's different, but there's so many more things that could have been said than just throwing those people under the bus, man. And, being in New Orleans and working in New Orleans and knowing some of those people in Mississippi, man, those people, they take offense to that kind of stuff, man. Mississippi hadn't always been a place where their history is good, and they take offense to shots more so than probably any other resident of any other state in the South. And just to go bashing and crashing, and then I guess he came out with an apology. We don't know how many hours it was after he said the statement, but and I agree with you, Brandon. I hear when this station, when 1010, we get these shots from the national media about Jacksonville this and Jacksonville ain't that and Jacksonville this. We can't be, hey, we get offended when they're throwing shots at us, but that station throwing shots at Mississippi who can't defend itself. That's like contradicting, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just to get, I don't know how they go with their basis for revenue, but you're not going to get advertisement dollars throwing that residents of the entire state under the bus when they don't deserve it, man. That's just low class, no class, and just stick for what you do, man. Your job is to talk about sports in Jacksonville, I assume, the Jaguars or whatever, or the Florida Gators, Florida State, whatever it matters. But, man, don't throw people under the bus that don't deserve to be under it.
Right. All right. And then let me see, where's that apology that he had? Such a half-hearted apology.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they, like you said, they reached out to him and said, hey, you need to issue a statement. You need to apologize or something. Yeah, he said, my bad, Logan Cook was making a point about the coaching jobs and went where I shouldn't have. I apologize to you and the people of Mississippi. My mistake. Piss poor.
Yeah.
Raggedy. That's a raggedy apology, man. Get that out of here.
Yeah, raggedy, piss poor, not well thought out, and just, I guess I throw apology because my bosses told me to throw it. Unprofessionalism is what I call it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like you can't do that. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, when you've been top dog for so long, man, I guess you feel like you're impervious. You got that S on your chest. Feel like you can say what you want to say. I've seen some talent come through that specific station. Guys who I think are were very good, and for whatever reason, they're not there. You can go into a multitude of reasons why certain guys aren't there, and those guys are gone and they're flourishing in other places because they were good. But hey, it's no different from the likes of a ESPN who they fired Robert Griffin III, and for what reason? Got to be something personal because, dude, Robert Griffin he's a rising star. He's very good. He would be a very good TV personality. And I think just from what he did in football and the fame that he gained from that, along with his talent now, it can take him into another stratosphere.
And let me also say this, man. I'm saying that John Reed, I think everything should be diversified. I think diversity is important, and I don't see it enough at 1010. That's me speaking.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you diversify and have diversity, some things wouldn't even, certain mistakes wouldn't even happen in the first place. So
Hey, look what Chris say. Hey, Chris, hey, that's it, Chris. I didn't want to name him, but Chris did it. Hey, T Wig and James Coleman, man. Hey, two really good brothers, man. Two really good brothers. I listen to T Wig from time to time on Locked On Jags. Hey, dude, I live for his breakdown. He breaks down the game very well. And then James Coleman, he's entertaining, man. And he's coaching that Mandarin. Mandarin is a power right now. Reigns who? Man, get out of here.
Yeah. And they diversity with an audience. We want to hear, sometimes we want to hear our point of view too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but it is what it is. Hey, that's how they conduct business. That's how they go about things. That's what it is. So, but man, we're gonna leave it right there. And what's your last thoughts on these Jaguars, man? What's your last thoughts?
Quick. I want to see a victory. Man, I'm so excited. It's a new football season. I'm even excited about college with this 12-team playoff. But I want these Jags to go out and handle business, man. I think they got the talent. I think they got the roster, the coaching staff. There's no excuses. Even the owner recognizes that. I think they're going to go out there in Miami, go down there to Miami, and they're going to take care of business. And I think it's going to continue week to week.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that now that the owner has set the tone, and he say they've been, the fan base, they've been on my back, they've been on my neck, they've been talking that noise about me. He don't care, as long as the checks cash. And I was never a proponent of that. I just like, he doesn't have enough football people in football places to make the move. I never thought that he could care less about what happens, and he's just an owner and he's still going to make the money. But because the money that he's made in his lifetime far exceed whatever he's made while he's been the owner of the Jaguars. So money is not an object to him. So I never really cared about that. I think he's a hyper competitive guy as well. I think going to those owner meetings and under you already, we had hit 100 losses. That's a black eye. They had the clowns. They've been clowning Shad Khan for a long time. And Shad is like, look here, I want a winner. Enough is enough. Let's go. Let's do it. The time is now. And I'm on board with it.
They give Trent Bulk of that theme music. Play that theme music for Trent.
Yes. Oh yeah, man. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I think they're ready. I think they're laser focused on their goal, man. Laser focused on their goal.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hit them Dolphins in the mouth.
Yeah, I think so. So, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. No matter how you're listening, whenever you're listening, however you are listening, I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on my social media. Follow Mr. Reed on Twitter. I'll be back with more videos. I'm thinking about doing the post game. So right after the game concludes, get on here and we talk and break down the game. We'll see what the schedule look like tomorrow, but I definitely want to get that in. So I'm going to do that, man. But I'll be back with more videos. We'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.
Peace out, peoples.